What up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel, and today I have such a long video. I think it's going to be because there's so much that I bought. I'm going to look at, the deals right now in the market, what I've purchased since the last time I made one of these pickup videos, and yeah, my reasoning for why I picked everything up. Went a little crazy this month, so there's going to be quite a lot to talk about. But before that, I want to let you guys know that I did launch a membership program for the channel. You get these emojis that I actually doodled myself. Wasn't easy, but yeah, I managed to make something. But the benefits you'd get is members only videos like this one that I published. So the entire active portfolio reveal. Pretty much what it is I have that update video, the portfolio updates video that is now worth $150,000. That's a portfolio that I have. I let it sit. I don't sell anything from it. I don't add to it. We just see how much it goes up over time. This one is more active, right? It has everything I bought since I started this portfolio. So you could see everything I have in there, like anything I buy. I'll also give you, for members, live alerts. So you'll know when I buy something. You don't have to wait for these monthly videos. You'll also know when I sell something, because in this active portfolio, I may be selling more while I'm letting this passive portfolio just grow over time, right? And then members only live streams. So at least once a month, we're going to have members only live streams where you guys can ask me questions about Pokemon, about investing, pretty much about anything you want. And then there's PKI Inner Circle, which is a bit more exclusive. I always say this is the best bang for your buck, and yet the first member ended up choosing PKI Inner Circle. Pretty much this is just priority answering during the live streams, and also you get access to an exclusive Discord for where you could talk to other PKI Inner Circle members and me, and then you could, we can help each other out. So that's pretty much it. Now let's get to the video. All right, guys, let's jump into it here. So first off, we got Caterpie from 151. I purchased a PSA 10 at a good price. So you could see a lot of stuff's been on fire in the market, but this Caterpie pretty much since October 2024, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 months hasn't budged. Now, why do I like this? The PSA 10s, it's difficult to get a 10 in 151. I do think, this is a beautiful artwork. I even thought so when I first drew the card in person. And it's 151 Pokemon, right? I do think there's going to be a lot of people that are going to want to get a master set in PSA 10 of every card in Pokemon 151, right? And also Caterpie, even though he's not the most popular Pokemon, obviously, was one of Ash's first Pokemon. So I do think there's a lot of nostalgia with this card. I think the artwork's good. I think the set's amazing. And when a lot of stuff is moving, I'm trying to look for stuff that isn't moving, but could move, right? I'm not looking for stuff that's never going to move, because you could find that stuff too. But I think this card has plenty of justification at this price point, and so I picked up one of those. This one I made a video about recently, right? Before the new Pokemon Pocket TCG app came out with the new packs that are featuring Garchomp, that are featuring, and Cynthia as well, Palkia, Dialga, right? I made a video that these cards could start going up because of the hype from the game, but also I really like these ones because Astral Radiance has had time to mature, and it hasn't really taken off yet like crazy like some other Sword and Shield sets. So it just felt like a good time, like a lot of things lining up for these cards and to make that purchase. So I did actually get 2 of these, and as you can see, it did have higher points in the past than PSA 10. So I really like it at this price point. And you guys can see when I made that video January 27th, what was it? We're looking at 220 USD. Lately, it's been selling sometimes for 300 USD. And then, yeah, latest sale also around 300 USD. So 80 USD profit there. Obviously, you have these ones 230, but it's definitely moving in the upward direction, which is good to see. Then we have Origin Forme Palkia. This card is actually very similar to the amazing immersive artwork that we have in in the TCG Pocket app right now for Palkia. It's probably my favorite card of this new set that came out. And it's also these kinds of like crazy, trippy, impossible dimensions, impossible stairs going all over the place, right? It's inspired by real impossible stairs painting. So you have that here and you have that in the game. So I think it's not surprising that this went up. And keep in mind, guys, so I made that video January 27th. So at 46 USD at that point. Now it's at 65 USD. So quite a big jump percentage wise. And like I said, that's also a good reason to become a member if you want. Like for this case, I did make a video, but in some cases, I may buy something and then make a video a month later. It already had time to grow, right? So as a member, you'll know as soon as I buy something and as soon as I sell something. So you'll just have a bit of a heads up. So I did get a PSA 10 of it, right? And again, I want to show you guys that these cards were higher before in PSA 10 at one point. So, I always like to see that because it shows me that now we aren't in like a specific mania for these cards or anything. So I like to see that. Picked up a PSA 10, and this is like the 27th, right? When I made that video, 173. And latest sales, you even got a 300 one. So that's almost doubling if you count some of these. But yeah, I'm not surprised. This is amazing artwork. The set's not going to be reprinted, right? So there's nothing to fear on that end. And with the hype of the amazing Palkia artwork, like making like Pokemon TCG Pocket, like why are they making such good artworks? They even have a Shinji Kanda in the new set, and they're not making them into real cards. Man, it frustrates me because there's so many better cards in the game than some of the real life ones. Then we have Dialga V, right? This was the one that matched the other three. Again, same idea, right? People were willing to pay for it more, and now I think it's up on the uptrend again. It's featured in the game, right? There's a lot of things to like about it, so I picked one up here for PSA 10 too. So you were looking at January 27th, right? 2645. I made the video on the 27th. So we're looking at 160, and then you're looking at multiple 200 sales then, and then 180 here. So all of these have done nicely in such a short period of time, right? I think I made that like, what is it now, a week ago or something? Also, guys, I did the impossible, the unbelievable. I invested in Japanese. I tell you guys not to invest in Japanese, and I'll try to justify my decision here. All right. So you guys are going to see that I've been on a bit of a Magikarp kick because I'm looking at the history of Magikarp cards, and I'm impressed. And I'm also looking at Palkia Evolved Magikarp and how it was for 2 years the most expensive PSA 10 of the Scarlet Violet era, right? We don't know what's going to happen in the future, but it'll remain one of the top cards. I think it will continue to go up in price over the years. And I think I'm already looking ahead and seeing when that happens and Magikarp is getting so much hype and people are going crazy for it. That they always look for in the past for other Magikarps. That's just how stuff works. When something pops off, people look in the past for similar Pokemon. You're seeing it with Umbreon, right? Even in Trainer Gallery Umbreons, like you see it all over the place. So, you can see my profile picture. Like I really believe in that Palkia Evolved Magikarp by Shinji Kanda, and I think it's gonna have a good future. And I think it's gonna rise the tide for a lot of Magikarp cards. This one is a Master Ball Magikarp I got in PSA 10. What do I like about this? It's fallen, and now it's super flat, right? It's actually started to tick up a bit after falling from all the way this point. So one thing that's good is I'm not buying from the high. Another thing is I would buy the English, guys. I would, but we don't have Master Ball reverse holos in the English for Pokemon 151, so I can't. And just the idea of a Master Ball, using a Master Ball on a Magikarp is just so hilarious to me. Like I had to get it for the memes as well. And I think people will actually pay a pretty penny just because of the memes. in the future where it's like, okay, so Master Ball Mewtwo makes sense, right? I got that one because you usually use the Master Ball for him in the games. Master Ball Pikachu, the face of the franchise, right? And Pikachu was the most expensive card at the point. And then this Magikarp, it's a Magikarp. Who would use a Master Ball on a Magikarp? It just works for me. I think this will do well long term. And either way, I'm buying so low that there isn't a lot of risk associated with it, right? So don't usually buy Japanese, but I made an exception here, and that's the reason. Now, again, like I told you guys, I've been on a Magikarp kick. So Shining Magikarp from Celebrations, I got in a PSA 10. Again, stuff I like to see. You have sales that were in the past significantly higher than we are now. I like to see that because it shows like we're not in a crazy mania. We're also, on the uptick, but nothing crazy so far. And you have multiple things going on. First of all, I wasn't going to pay thousands of dollars for a Shining Magikarp in the first edition from the original, right? So I got a Celebrations version of it. One of the reasons I did was not only because it's a Magikarp, but because Celebrations next year, it's going to be 30th anniversary, and everyone's already has a sense that it's going to pump up 25th anniversary stuff, just like the Celebrations pumped up previous anniversary products, right? That's just how it works. It's already started. You've been seeing some rises with the Umbreon specifically. And so, yeah, to me, this was just a cheap, for PSA 10 version, it's a cheap price where I paid for it. And I just see a lot of upside looking into the future and looking into next year. And it gives me a version of that iconic Shining Magikarp from, I think it was Neo something, a very popular set. But it does it without me having to break the bank. So I really like this card for all those reasons. Then probably the one I'm most excited for, I picked up a Magikarp and Wailord GX PSA 10. Again, Magikarp, right? Team up, you're not going to get a lot of these opened up at this point. It's over 4,000 Canadian a booster box, and you can open up one and not even get this Magikarp. Another reason I liked it is we've seen huge prices for Latios and Latias, and even for the Gengar and for the Mimikyu, and yet we haven't seen as big prices for the Magikarp. Now, I'm not saying it's going to get to Latios and Latias level, and if it does, Latios and Latias will be a lot higher than they are now, but it just isn't a crazy price point for what you're getting, in my opinion. You might have some Wailord hype playing into it as well, because there's going to be a Wailord card in the new Journey Together set, right? A beautiful Wailord card. A lot of people are going crazy over it. So that's going to put shine on this card again. Plus, like I said, it's a Magikarp, guys. So I believe in it. As you can see here, it's close to the peak here. But if we look at actual sales, it has passed the peak, right? We have multiple confirmed sales over 1,000 here. 1,000. 1,100 USD. We don't know for sure what this one is. And so, yeah, you could definitely, this one is 750. This one was definitely a good pickup. I'm jealous of this person. I think in this market, it's definitely a good pickup. This is a Chinese version, so it doesn't count. But yeah, I think this person got a great deal, and I think there's room to grow here without a lot joining the market. The PSA 10 is about 1,300, which is less than the Palkia Evolved Magikarp. And like I said, there's very small chance of that increasing with team up booster boxes being so expensive. Next up, I got Pidgeot EX. I think this card has been slept on hard, right? I already had one. I got more. Finally, it started to go up a bit. But look how long it's been flat, right? In this market where so many illustration rares, super illustration rares have been going up, a fan favorite Pokemon, this one has not. And so I thought it was an easy buy at this price point. You're not paying a lot. And yet you're getting, what are you getting? A Pidgeot, right? If we think about when we played the games, probably everyone, or close to everyone at some point had a Pidgeot on their team of 6 in the original games. Super popular Pokemon. Interesting artwork that connects with the whole Pidgey line. We've seen how well that did for all the cards in the Gardevoir line in Scarlet Violet base set. So this was just a no-brainer pickup, so I bought multiple more. In the same vein, I bought Pidgeotto for even cheaper, which honestly I don't know if it should be cheaper because this illustration rare is hard to grade in a PSA 10, and there aren't a lot of copies. And hopefully because it's so cheap and raw, a lot of people didn't protect it properly. So we're going to have the ones of us that do have a PSA 10, and sometimes there isn't even one on the market, but the ones that do have a PSA 10, hopefully it's going to go up in price because so many people thought, oh, this card isn't even worth keeping in good condition. And then we're going to have less join the market later. So it's part of that line, right? It's a 151 Pokemon. I think that this is a great price point for it. I paid about 80 Canadian for it, and I saw that it's already up. Venusaur from Pokemon TCG Classic, right? I've been telling you guys that I think Classic will make a move at some point. Not saying it'll make it anytime soon, but just at some point. I think the supply will dry up, Costco's will run out of it, and it will start to move. This card right now is going for 70 USD, right? This is a very similar price point in PSA 10 to the Venusaur from Celebrations in PSA 10. Now, the crazy thing is Celebrations has 13,000 something graded in PSA 10. You know how many of these there are? 1,300. And they're the same price point. I don't think it'll remain like that. I can't see, like, yes, there will be Celebrations hype next year, but long term, with this card having 10x less population, and also being a reprint of Venusaur, right? And some people not even liking the Pikachu logo because it's so big and obnoxious in the corner. I can't see this one remaining. So this is one of those situations where I saw it on the market for a good price. I wasn't necessarily looking for it. I looked into it. I did the research, and I thought, man, I can't see this long term not hitting higher prices, especially considering how small the population is. So I'd say if you get a good deal on the Charizard, Blastoise, or Venusaur, I just happened to see the Venusaur. If I saw a Charizard for a good deal, I would have picked that up. But if you see any of those big ones, even Mewtwo in PSA 10 from the Trading Card Game Classic, when this stuff dries up, when Trading Card Game Classic starts going up in price, I definitely see these, because they have very small population reports in PSA 10, I definitely see these going up from here. Now, next move is I double down on the Merill, guys. So, you guys know I love Palkia Evolved, and Merill impressed me not only because of its PSA 10 price, but because it was actually in raw able to move up above so many other cards. And the fact that people were willing to accept that and accept Merill at this price point gives me reason to double down and get another PSA 10, more PSA 10 Merills. So I did invest more in this, guys, even though I got my first one at like 300 Canadian. Very small population for now. As people notice how big the price is, they'll try to get more PSA 10s. But this, out of all the cards in Palkia Evolved that are worth looking into, has the worst chance of getting a PSA 10. And maybe it's because of the unique artwork in the water. I don't know why exactly, but the Magikarp's like 21%. The Tyranitar is closer to 19%. This one is 18%. So even if down the line, people graded this one as much as they did the Magikarp, which I don't think is likely at this point, but you'd still have significantly less of these in PSA 10 than the Magikarp. So there's just a lot to like here, plus something to consider if you're an OG like me. Even Pokemon the first movie had Merill in like a mini movie before it in the cassette. If you guys remember that word, cassette. And I think even in the movies, if you went, like they had a mini movie, and Merill was one of the main new Pokemon in that movie. Or no, was it even in the? Yeah, I think, or was it in the actual movie itself? But I remember Merill being associated with Pokemon the first movie, and a lot of us who were there for Gen 1 love Gen 2, right? Heart Gold and Soul Silver are considered some of the best games of all time, if not the best games of all time. So I think there's definitely an audience for Merill. This has proved it, that it was able to rise through the ranks. And with such a beautiful artwork, such a low chance of getting PSA 10, I can see this doing well in the long term. And here I just showed you guys. Right now there's 116 out of 643 Merrills in PSA 10. This number will grow because people were sitting on Merills, I'm sure, and they're noticing that the price is rising, so they're going to try to grade them, try to sell them for a high price. So this is going to go up. But I'm just saying it's exciting that it's only like an 18% chance of hitting that PSA 10. And as time goes on, hopefully, this sounds bad, but as time goes on, hopefully people haven't taken good care of their raw Merills, and so it's going to be harder for people to get a PSA 10. And I'm saying that because for us PSA 10 collectors, it's better that this population stays lower than higher, right? Gloom. Yes, I finally pulled the trigger on the Gloom in PSA 10. See, guys, nothing crazy has happened so far with it. I feel like I got it for around 220. So I guess probably Canadian or something. Let me see here. Yeah. So let me actually double check so I'm not giving you guys wrong numbers here. All right, so 160 USD I paid for this. And what was the reason? I want the illustration rares in PSA 10. This is a Gloom. I don't care that's from Obsidian Flames. I don't hate against Obsidian Flames. So I got it for less than 160 USD. Now it's selling for 200 USD, right? So that's quite a percentage gain in such a short period of time. I'm honestly impressed because not everything is rising, right? We're seeing some Sword and Shield booster boxes drop. So it's cool that even amongst those drops, we are seeing some stuff go up. And yeah, it's beautiful artwork in person. Like I knew I wanted it. I knew I wanted the Gloom. Hasn't skyrocketed or anything, but in person, it looks so good. So good. Beedrill. I'm a simple guy. You guys know me. If you see an illustration rare or an alt art of a 151 Pokemon that's not like in crazy hype mode right now, right? Like I'm not touching the Team Rocket stuff now that it's gone up like hundreds of percentages in a very short period of time. But if I see something hasn't been brought up very quickly from hype, and it's something I want to get in my collection, I think it's a good long-term investment. I will bounce on it. I will take my I will add it to my collection and my investment portfolio, and that was the case with the Beedrill. And again, just like with the Gloom, this card is beautiful in person. Like the picture does not do it justice. Beedrill, 151 Pokemon. You can see that it's been higher than it is now. Also Astral Radiance. I think Astral Radiance will start to rise at some point like the other Sword and Shield sets, and that will spell good things for all of these Astral Radiance cards I've been talking about, which includes the Beedrill V, which includes the Palkia, Dialga. Misty is not in this video, but I have a PSA 10 of Misty, and also obviously the Garchomp and Cynthia. I absolutely love that combination. All right, guys, and I told you guys, I'm a man of my word. As long as my local Costco has these bad boys at 250 Canadian, which is like a fraction of this price, right? And right now in Canada, we don't pay tax on trading card games. So I can get it for 250, not counting my cash back percentage through Costco. You're probably looking at $245 that I'm spending, while this is closer to like 350 Canadian right now in market price. So as long as there's that discrepancy, as long as it's not selling out of Costco, I'm going to add another one every month to my collection, just like I did last month, and I added another one this month. So I would encourage people, if they think like me, that look, it reached some kind of equilibrium, right? For 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. For around 10 months, it's been around the same price point. So I definitely don't, I think and this is like way more than I paid for it. So I think that the risk is practically zero for this one if you're picking up from Costco. And like I said, I do think this will bounce at some point, and especially long term. A lot of nostalgia, a lot of good stuff. Few PSA 10 populations for the Pokemon. I think, yeah, there's a lot to like about this purchase in this market. And finally, Paradox Rift. I got it for like 140 USD, right? 6 of them. Also trying to take advantage of the Canadian thing where we're not paying taxes right now. I appreciate that too. So I tried to buy more this month than usual, perhaps. But I got a case of Paradox Rift. Since then, actually, the Groudon obviously has been popping off. But since then, you've had other cards popping off, like the Altaria. You've had Garchomp, right? I love my boy Garchomp, popping off again. Is it because of TCG Classic? I don't know. You tell me. So, yeah, you have a lot of stuff popping off, not just the Groudon. And so, yeah, this is just looking like a better investment by the day. So that is it for this super long video, guys. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see how long it ends up being, but definitely one of my biggest purchase history videos. Here, guys, again, if you enjoy this stuff and you want to know exactly when I get it and you don't want to hear about it, after a month and then maybe the price has shot up already, like with some of these cards, just join the membership program. $3.99 Canadian, that's like 2 something bucks USD. You'll get live alerts to everything I buy, everything I sell. You can get these ultra rare doodles to use on this channel. And if you really want to, something more exclusive, which totally not necessary, but there is that option to join the exclusive Discord and to get priority answers in the member only live streams. Already have a member only video for you guys, and I'll see you in the next one.